Do you believe? That is the question. As PSG improved to 8-0 over J Team this year, so far hasn't been a single victory, and it's looking like J Team have to get something going right here, right now. We're gonna have a big thanks to our sponsors once again: CTBC Bank, China Airlines, Chunghwa Telecom, and Caliber. Thanks for making the league possible and so enjoyable in the meantime. So we are going to head back into game 2, where J Team has selected the blue side this time around and are looking to make some changes in draft. What do you want to see, Nightstar, as they head over towards the other side of the map?
There's just so much power loaded into blue side at the moment. You have the Ziggs available, you have the Renekton available, and then you also have the Viego more importantly available. And in some cases, like if Viego does get taken off the board, the Xin does rise in priority in that factor. So there's just a lot more picks that you can go for that are just really, really powerful at the moment.
Yeah, that seems it's just chock full of champions there. You mentioned the Viego. We talked about Renekton, and one that was conspicuously missing from Game 1 draft was also the Gwen pick, just completely left untouched there. So it does seem like power for the side of J Team is what we're looking at. In the meantime, red side for PSG, that also sounds like a pretty scary proposition. They don't really use counterpick for Hanabi, but I feel like they usually save it for Maple, if I'm not mistaken here. So
they'll leave it up for Maple, or if the first half of the draft really works out, they end up saving it for perhaps like a Bard pick for Kaiwing later on, just in the event if all the stars align. And he's just so skilled on that champion. You're more than willing to actually save counterpick for a support like him when he has a actual pool of champions to pick from. Whereas I feel like a lot of these supports in our league don't have too much beyond 3 or 4 of the melee supports.
I have to agree with you, Nautilus, Leona, that seems to be it. But this is a huge detriment to J Team. They actually ban out Viego on the blue side themselves. Hana, not really known for a hyper carry jungler, and that's not what you want to see in a drafting phase like this one. On the other hand, PSG going to take away the Syndra and the Ziggs. I think these are the same bans as we had in Game 1. So power picks, in terms of what we've been talking about, the Renekton and Xin Zhao still left on the table. See which one they take here, as J Team do take away Kaiwing's Thresh. Pretty much a must ban against PSG. Which one do you want to see?
If you're not looking
taken out
to first pick that, then you would go ahead and take that away, which is a little bit interesting because of Woody's not exactly a bad player on Thresh as well, and just the champion enables so much of the rest of your team being able to play something like a hyper carry in both mid and bottom lane. But there it is, it's going to be priority put onto the Renekton. A lot of the power that comes from this pick is usually being able to flex it in the mid and top, but more importantly, it also allows you to play more aggressively around your jungler. So I need to see J Team play a little bit more forward, play a lot more bloodthirsty when it comes to that top half of the map.
We'll see if they can get off to a strong lead here. You talked about the flex pick, but we really haven't seen Mission go on to something like a Renekton. So the possibilities is still there. It's just that we have not seen it from J Team. On the other hand, we are going to get a bit of a takeaway draft from PSG as River does lock in the Diana. You don't want that Diana Renekton combo on the other end. J Team looks like a full tempo draft this time around. They're going for speed instead of value here, as they do lock in the LeBlanc.
A lot of roam power coming in from this LeBlanc Xin duo. It also does mean that there's not a lot of smoke and mirrors as to where this Renekton is going. It is going into that top lane. So for the side of PSG, would be more than happy to go ahead, lock in the top laner if they want to on R3, but it does look like they are hovering the Leona and will lock that pick in. So not a whole lot of smoke and mirrors in general in this draft. PSG, they go ahead, lock that bot lane duo. and they save counter picks, but I mean, over on the side of J Team, you already know what the solo laners are. There's not too much to be said about PSG's remaining answers, and over on the side of J Team, it's really just pick for yourself so far.
Yeah, we'll see how J-Team can pilot a tempo game plan. They have been able to do this successfully against the bottom half of the league, but against the top half, J-Team really aren't the tightest tempo team, so we'll see if it works out for them. PSG, on their end, they have drafted a full Targon set. They've got the Sunlight, Moonlight mechanics down, and J-Team are more like a renowned deck, I would say. Just going on a tangent here, but PSG could take away some bot lane strength, taking away safe picks here, as it does seem like J-Team will be playing more for the top side. Last ban from J-Team is going to be targeted at the solo lanes. It's going to be the Lucian away from Mission. Very interesting. That's a heavily skilled matchup. We'll say PSG's closest game to losing this split has been when Mission was put on the Lissandra, so maybe trying to force him in that direction.
Yeah, trying to take away some of the playmaking power coming in from Maple. Could still go for a Zoe, although that would kind of lock you into a double AP duo there, and instead they are going to go for the Galio, trying to add a little bit of playmaking. Surprised they didn't go for the Lissandra pick here for Maple, as that would provide a lot of lockdown, but perhaps saying, hey, Unify doesn't quite have enough peel with just this Leona pick, so we'll try and carve out a large space for him to really operate in these team fights. And J-Team, they go ahead.
Yeah, they are going to get some champion. More pick potential in the bot side. Ash coming down. I love this draft from J-Team. I honestly feel like they have the upper hand here. Like, full tempo Zinzao LeBlanc versus double AP mid jungle with Hawkshot support and Enchanted Crystal Arrow. I really like this draft. This is such a powerful one coming in from J-Team. Definitely a draft that can just blow the opponent out of the water if you get an early lead of any sort. PSG do have the last pick to Hanabi, something we rarely see. He's going to have to find a counter for not only the Renekton, but for a lot of the early game woes that PSG might run into. What do you see here?
It's hard to say, because if you go for something like Gwen, it really funnels your composition into pretty magic damage heavy, and not super sure if Vilios can pop off in these fights. And so they add a little bit more team fight power with this Gangplank pick. But again, overall, the draft is, as a composition, I feel like J-Team really come out ahead because of how well these champions kind of synergize with each other and being able to play super fast and hit that mid game and force a lot of picks. But at the same time, this is a composition that J-Team themselves aren't really known for. So the mismatch in team style with the draft could be the doom here in game number 2.
All right, we'll see how this game actually goes. So far, it does look like to us that PSG, just because of their flexibility in draft and the way they can shift towards different archetypes depending on the matchup, has given them a massive edge. I don't think like PSG necessarily plays these comps that often, but whenever they go up against J-Team, they're just like, okay, you know what? We're just going to chill. We're going to sit back and relax. We're going to outvalue them. Let's make J-Team do all the work. We're going to watch the show.
Yeah, and if you were to say which lane is the biggest difference when you match these teams side by side, it is going to be Unified and Kaiwing over Lil V and Woody, and for the most part. And you would kind of give a big edge to River as well, but sometimes the jungle doesn't necessarily get infinite amounts of kills, although it's certainly different for River, as he again has the most kills in the league. But J-Team, this is a composition that onus is on them. We'll look for them to make the plays, decide how the game tempo will be, and if they are able to keep the pedal down, good things are coming for this team in this draft, I think.
Pedal to the metal is the name of the game, coming in from J-Team. As we are looking at the level 1 setups coming out here. Predator, Galio, not the teamfight version, and some early warding on the side of PSG. It seems like they're very aware of the potential for a Xin Zhao invade. They do ward up the ramp here. Anything in particular you want to point out from these summoners here?
Not a whole lot here. The Predator really just indicates that you want to contest these or help contest the side lanes a little bit harder. Use that extra movement speed to get it in position for your ultimate. Also allows you to skirmish a little bit earlier on the side, being able to have that extra little bit of damage at the start. Enables you to get better taunt angles as well, getting the extra move speed there. So makes a lot of sense here for Maple.
We'll see the jungle starts coming out here. Diana going for the Raptor start, interesting enough. Gonna head toward her red after this one. While we do have a leash coming in from J-Team on the bottom side. PSG doesn't look like they're full pushing just yet. Probably stacking waves up a little bit. We'll see what they do with that tempo advantage there in the bottom side. In the meantime, top lane, a bit of fisticuffs that's definitely going in favor of the Pirate here. The mechanized crocodile can't really find the range against Hanabi early on. But Rest will get the push in first.
It's definitely, you kind of leave things on its own, and it's really more in favor for the Gangplank as he's able to decide how to control the wave. But when you do have, again, a LeBlanc and a Xin, there's a lot more coming for you than just that Renekton up in that top side. So Hanabi definitely going to be put on notice when it comes to this early laning phase, and especially when you do have a Diana that wants to farm up. He's going to be soaking a lot of weak side laning here.
Yeah, definitely the case, especially after the Hawkshot has revealed Diana's position. So Hana at this point does know that Diana is pathing towards the bottom side. It would be very weird if she's not there. So this should be an open top lane if they want to do something with it. Hanabi, we're going to take a look at his potion count. Still has 2 potions up, so he should be able to weather this. Very close to full HP. In the meantime, we have the bottom side from J-Team actually backing up all the way to the tower. And, ooh, Maple, very close to going down here. Less than 200 HP after the trade mission, able to force him out early.
Still, it's not like Mission does have the Ignite, so won't be able to really threaten the kill there. And Maple does get what he wants, which is the boots, which enables him to use that Predator Keystone. And Hana making his way towards that top side. That minion wave is going to spot him, though.
Yeah, doesn't care at this point. He's just going to head straight for Hanabi. Rest does have an empowered ability to use the explosive charge. Doesn't work. Hana finally finds the target, but doesn't finish off the kill. Hanabi flashing forward. Hana goes very low, but still going to survive into that one. Oh, that was great play coming in from Hana. Not a lot PSG could do as River was still taking down the Scuttle and bot side. I'm going to watch that again.
Yeah, Hanabi probably thought one more turret shot was going to come through, but he doesn't really get a whole lot of value out of that barrel. And he immediately gets turned on and flashes forward to try and get the kill onto Hana, but there's no follow-up turret shot to help him out in that regard. So Hanabi spends the flash and still goes down. That'll be an important summoner to keep track of, because the side of J-Team, they will most certainly return back into that lane sooner rather than later.
I really like the way that Hana played that one as well. He used the first 2 3-talent strikes just to get to the knockup and then unleash the full burst combo. Usually the W is a little hard to land against moving targets, but making sure you had the knockup on command there definitely helped the game. So really nicely played by J-Team. Gonna get a sizable lead as the Graviton does go down. Unified with a massive HP lead is just gonna walk forward, he'll use, and flash forward from Kaiwing. They get the sums onto Lil V. Now Woody is next, taking a ton of damage, but he still has that thick skin, so should be fine here. As River is also going to look to join in on the action. We'll see if he can make an appearance before the back comes through. He's definitely trying, and Lil V decides to stay. This could be very detrimental. He still has the cleanser, but the damage could be enough. Lil V, are you going to make it out? Nah, the damage comes through. The stuns land, and Kaiwing survives, as does Unified. So just a straight-up 2-kill advantage towards PSG.
What do you know? They're going to try and send it.
Meanwhile, Dominus is already here. They get the full stun and a beautiful trade in the top lane. Oh,
that's so 1-for-1.
The last tower shot takes down the Croc.
Yeah, that's actually massive victory there for PSG. Not only do they get both kills in that bottom lane, they also trade 1-for-1 up in that top side. Hanabi this time around is able to fend off the dive to a certain degree as we get to see the replay. Lil V ends up greedy in a little bit here, seeing that the wave is coming towards him, seeing that Unify wasn't exactly super healthy, but what he doesn't account for is that River, he's just in the area, so it's just such an easy dive attempt. And they get 3 kills on the board. PSG, I mean, the highlight was going to be a difference in power, right? That top half of the map for J-Team, but also the bottom half of the map for PSG, where all their power is, and both sides really playing to their win conditions at the moment.
Bit of a chuckle here as, whoa, River just goes straight in onto mission. Goes for the wrong one at the end. A Lunar Rush. He's probably overthought that play. Goes for the clone. The question mark thing comes through. I think River was taking out his frustration about his topside getting completely stolen away by Hana. You could see him laughing in the player cam. He's like, of course you took away my entire topside. I still get the 3-for-1 though. Just go straight for mission, but it doesn't really work out.
But more importantly, mission does expend the flash. Which means, okay.
We do have a full-on gank into the bottom side. Nearly forgot about Galio existing in this game. Maple gonna pick up his first kill, and Woody has nothing to say about this one. Is Hana actually gonna finish the objective? He should have to smite. Does secure the ocean, and he goes on his merry way.
A little bit of a funny moment there in the fact that Galio pretty much runs up to Hana and then ults in front of his face. There, as we are going to see the replay of how the fight happens, and it's really pretty simple. Maple ults Kaiwing. Kaiwing's in the middle of them, and because of the missing sums on both bot laners, well, they don't have anything to say about it. But they are able to pick Kaiwing off on the side as he tries to make a rotation over to the mid lane, probably to put some vision wards, keep track of where this LeBlanc is going, but unfortunately, the LeBlanc comes for him.
Yeah, we don't really get to see how that developed, but Kaiwing just dies out of nowhere. Of course, he didn't have the flash, so no getaway potential for him. J-Team gonna use this opportunity to snag a Herald for themselves. It should give them the gold lead after the Herald is dropped, and you know what we were talking about, J-Team, they do need to snowball this composition. This is not a comp that you can expect to win out in the late game here. So, see where they use it and get another look at how Kaiwing goes down here.
Yeah, he's just trying to take that control ward. But then Woody shows up and he has no business in taking that control ward. Doesn't even get the second one either, mind you.
Yeah. he went down trying,
one hit left.
Oh, Lil V gonna take a ton of damage. Again, forced underneath his own tower, and at this point, Unified has so many more components compared to the Ashe. Looking kind of rough here. I definitely don't think the Herald can be dropped bot.
Yeah, it's definitely a tough ask for Lil V to just take the 1v1 against Unified. Yes, you're the Ashe, you can kind of wave clear, but Unified with these weapons, he can really just decide whenever he wants to go in onto them.
This could be
Now,
pretty hairy for J Team, as we do have the Cannon Barrage going down onto Lil V. Enchanted Crystal Arrow uses a 3v2,
they still get the finish.
and they do
Teleport's
find
coming in.
Unified at the very end. It's so close. Maple comes in to pick up the pieces. Woody has to use a Devour, but he's so low health.
No mana
Will be
on
able to
Kaiwing.
get out, as we have Mission on the side escorting his team towards tower. The other very end, it will be an 80 carry for 80 carry trade here being used. Just getting a little bit of free time here as Nabi doesn't have the ultimate anymore. Still walks up, but doesn't really matter as he has the a little bit unfortunate slow on the trigger finger.
It's the mini games right then and there, but we get to see this bot lane play happen once more. PSG, they have a bunch of summoners, or they have really the cooldowns to try and make this play, but they don't expect Hana to be there, or they just think that they're more than willing to take that flip regardless, as River is pathing on his way down in that situation. But now, what do you know? Try to pressure Hanabi once more.
Nabi is going to get a lot of help though. His entire bottom side is coming to his aid. You see Kaiwing and River roaming here. Just taking a look at the items, we do have the mythics across the board at this point, outside of the 80 carries. Actually, Mission doesn't have his either, so getting a little bit too ahead of myself, but the junglers do have them. And at this point, Hana has had a very good game, 2-0-1. He should be able to outduel River at this point. As PSG, they take the map trade, continuing to bully Lil V at the cost of Nabi. See which one actually has a temple lead here. It should be very hard to trade against this Herald push, though, in the top lane. And maybe Nabi's gonna lose another tower here.
It's definitely possible with the LeBlanc pathing his way over, of course. Maple does have his ultimate up, so he can make the rotation very, very quickly, and with the Leona here as well, so they should be able to
But Nabi goes back in, but Galio is here to help.
all.
Can Hana get out?
And they chase,
out.
though.
Highwing finds the target, though, and in the combo
River
goes. River's going to find one, but Rest with a massive Q gets the empowered Call of the Meek on two, stays alive, and PSG have to run with their tails between their legs at this point. Great comeback from Rest, and Mission can find Kaiwing, gets the nearly gets the cheeky interrupt here, but about all he's going to find, as J-Team coming up with the very strong temple lead, 2 towers to only 1 in the bottom lane.
They get that additional tower. That's basically the trade that happens here. As we're going to see the dive happen once more. Ult doesn't quite land, and Hana sees blood in the water, goes in, gets, of course, the extra heal, but then the turn comes in. There's plenty of engage and setup power coming in from this PSG roster, but at this point in the game, at this time period, Rest on this Renekton is incredibly powerful. His power spikes are that 1 and 2 items. After that, that's when he slows down. However, no one else is really that close to him in power levels at all. The Gore Drinker gets a fat heal along with the empowered Kolomik, and you just saw how much health he gained. It was bonkers.
Yeah, he went from 400 HP to about 1400 in less than a second. So, this season 11 things for you, honestly. It's kind of crazy that this amount of healing does happen in game. Yep, Maple setting up a Death Rush. I don't think he has the damage for this one, and Hana is also coming here, so if they actually catch out Maple, it could be in a bit of trouble. It looks like he's playing Aged Maple, trying to come in from the backside. They do find Lil V. Cannon Barrage comes down. Devour has to be used from Woody. No Gravitum here, so Lil V able to get away, and in comes Maple, closing down the trap. I can't believe he made his way through this mission. Now going to go onto River, but there's the Moonfall present, and J-Team have to run away. Mission does find the kill here, but can he get away the entire way? Hana has the red buff ticking. Hanabi trying to chase him down.
Have enough move speed.
Of War. And Hana's on the wrong side of the map as he takes 2 tower shots.
He flashed.
That's painful to see.
Oh,
Mission does get out though.
Yeah, they're able to save Mission here, but this really sneaky play coming in from Maple pays off in the fact that they're trying to force a pick, and that means the only way to survive that is just flash over that red ball. And then, well, they do turn and find the return kill onto River, but even that gets evened out with the finish onto Hana. So ends up being a 2-for-1 trade. PSG still winning out in that regard, but J-Team are the ones with 2 dragons, and that's going to help them scale up, as it will be Mountain Soul on the table. That'll help mitigate some of the damage coming out towards the mid and late game, especially with kind of how focused on magic damage this top half is. Even with the Gangplank, the majority of Gangplank's teamfight damage and a straight up teleport fight is going to come from that cannon barrage.
Yeah, that's the difference we have been seeing in these catch plays by PSG. It's just that cannon barrage able to slow people down. So as you mentioned, full Mercury treads on the side of J-Team, outside of the AD carry, which I think, they're kind of tied down to Berserker in most cases. As we do still have J-Team with a very, very slight lead in this one. They have the entire top side opened up, and I do want to see J-Team start to go proactive here. They have that Enchanted Crystal Arrow that can catch people out, and their composition still has a lot of burst damage at this point. It would be a shame if they just don't use it.
Yeah, they have so much team fight power right now because of the fact that they have double Gore Drinker, and there's no big burst heal tool coming in from PSG at the moment, and I don't think we saw in the items any heal reduction either. So you're going to get maximum value out of these Gore Drinker tools, but Mission possibly caught out. Well, I mean, he is the LeBlanc, I suppose.
Yeah, he does still have the Mimic on hand, so PSG not even going to try, just going to use it for a little bit of tempo. But I'm still very surprised that J-Team are willing to play out this 1-3-1, which I don't think gives them an advantage later on. River goes straight in onto Woody and uses the Moonfall to cancel out on the Abyssal Dive. Woody is just caught out and killed in the middle of nowhere. Great sequencing coming in from PSG. A bit of help from Kaiming as well with the Solar Flare.
Yeah, and this is a very interesting turn of events here, in the fact that PSG are the ones to be able to get the catch rather than J-Team. When you look at this J-Team squad, you're seeing, hey, you have a little bit more freedom to make rotations on the LeBlanc. With this Ash Arrow and with this Zen, you're more than willing to take these fights in River, but it ends up being PSG being able to pick off this top catch first. That doesn't bode well. Because again, J-Team, this composition will drop off in pretty considerable fashion. You're not packing a lot of damage when it comes to this jungle in AD carry role, at least comparatively to other junglers, and so the damage is going to be really just super reliant on this LeBlanc.
Alright, we'll see what Mission does find here. We're going to get a fork from J-Team starting to go towards the Mountain Drake. They haven't started just yet. We'll do so now. And this is a great opportunity for them to use those double Gold Drinkers like you were mentioning, but Mission gets caught out on the side immediately. And there's still 3,000 HP on that Drake. It's getting very hairy as the triple barrel does land onto Lil V. Mission misses the chains, and now we have River going in. He does have to flash. Hana's going to start this one preemptively, and we have Rest charging into the back line with the Dominant, doing tons of damage. What they find their targets? It's actually Woody that goes down first, and Galio just is on such a great position, but they find Unified. The main damage dealer is down. Rest heading forward, gets a massive chunk on the 3-member squad from PSG. PSG will take down the Drake, and River has nowhere to go. He's going to get hunted down, sandwiched in by both sides, and there he finally falls. J-Team now with the triple Drake stack.
J-Team, they find the big fight they were looking for, being able to use these double Gore Drinker power spikes, and they secure themselves a third dragon, and this is actually a bit of a rough position now here, now that J-Team having to find this fight. They get that extra golden fusion along with the possibility of soul, and while we do see in this replay, Hanabi was able to get a good cannon barrage. I don't like the position, or he got a good barrel chain. I don't like the position of this cannon barrage. Uses it a little bit too early, doesn't get a nice position for it as well, and yeah, Unify, he tries to turn the fight himself. He is the main damage source on this squad, and he just walks up a little bit too far, gets popped, and the rest of James team rest. He's just such a juggernaut at this point, of course, with that core drinker.
I'm so surprised they won that fight with 0 auto attacks from Lil V. He did not auto PSG a single time in that fight, and they still won. So yeah, season 11 things, great core drinker fight from the top end. Like, it felt so weird because it felt like zoning out the AD carry from the rest of the team should be worthwhile for Hanabi. But Nightstar, you're actually completely right. You know, zoning out the AD carry doesn't matter at all. Yeah, I feel like my brain has a hard time processing that.
And also, I mean, you just look at Lil V's scoreline. He hasn't been able to play the game. He's on an Ashe, and to just invest that large of a cooldown on try and zone off the Ashe just doesn't make a whole lot of sense there. You could have gotten a lot more damage value. And, I mean, right now, you need damage value because of the fact Unified hasn't fully come online, at least that fight, and also River wasn't exactly the highest damage build either, so yeah, squeeze as much damage value as you can. Although Red
chase down right here. River finally goes in. The Dominus is popped, and Galio is going to make this a 3-for-1, and they finally take him down. It takes a very long time, but in the end, they do so before J-Team can arrive at the scene. This time around, we do have the Serpent's Fang by Hanabi, so Steric's Gauge not as useful of an item as it would be in previous team fights.
Going for the Serpent's Fang, trying to get maximum poke damage, and also helps reduce the shielding coming in from Shield Bow and the Tom Kench. However, still losing, still investing a lot of effort. Thankfully, there wasn't really a trade available for J-Team, so it's just a free kill. But that's kind of also all it was, just a kill. PSG themselves don't get a whole lot off of it. They now mission.
Does pack quite a bit of a punch here as River goes back in, Everfrost used. We're just have a chase away. The main showdown is going to come in about 80 seconds as J-Team have a chance to secure their Mountain Soul at this point. Very strong item considering some of the poke and like burst potential that PSG have. It's, you know, I think people forget about this, but like Mountain Drake actually has the highest win rate. Mountain Soul, excuse me, actually has the highest win rate of the souls, which is not what you typically expect. Most people do think about like the more aggressive ones, like Ocean and Infernal, to be more useful. But no, Mountain is the one that actually has the highest win rate.
It's the boring one, you know? It just gives you defensive stats. It gives you a shield. I mean, even Cloud gives you move speed. And while it's not as flashy, it's definitely a little bit more fun. So you get to go zoom and cast your ultimate a lot more often. But yeah, the big thing though is the fact that PSG, they are looking to probably go into double Lord Doms. So a lot of armor penetration looking to be built. So even if this Mountain Soul does go into their hands, they have the tools to sort of deal with it. Okay, Maple having a bit of a scuffle with mission here, and Hanabi needs to get a couple of these barrel chains down to really set things up for this.
We do have the fight starting a little bit. Kaiwing finds the Zenith Blade. The stakes are very lopsided. If J-Team find this, they find themselves in an incredibly strong position. Could just use this for the potential out position here. It's kind of barrage. Finally gonna get used here. Once again, zoning away, but Hana does find the objective, so Soul goes over towards J-Team, Rest into the back line, but this time around doesn't have the same amount of tankiness as he does go down. We have Hana going back once more, but does get one, doesn't find Unified though, and J-Team are on full retreat. Double kill by Unified. He is gonna pop in with the Moonlight Vigil. Doesn't find Lil V most critically.
There's no tower here.
We still have to flash in from Maple. Catches out Mission, Gravitum onto Mission and into the Everfrost. Goodbye, LeBlanc. PSG, they don't get the soul stop, but they do get 3 extra kills on this trade.
Yeah, we get to see a replay of this fight. The ult is just better placed this time around, coming in from Hanabi. Same location, but much different result here. As they go ahead, start it out. Rest ends up over diving past the rest of his team. Zoom in, but River, he splits the fight, and he's able to buy a lot more time because of the fact that he has that Zanya's Hourglass, and then later on, right after, he has that Hero's Entrance to add an additional shield. And this is the difference in their composition. PSG, even though they lose the soul, that because of the double Last Whisper items built up by both Hanabi and Unified, they're still able to take the fight and win it because of the fact they have the armor penetration. There's no big defensive items built up quite yet.
Here, we see the TP coming in from Hana. Maple trying to get on out of their income Rest, but they are fighting through as you mentioned, a very difficult choke to break through, and we'll back off just a little bit. I did like the analysis there of, you could tell the difference in survivability on Rest compared to the previous team fights. That Serpent's Fang coming through, the armor penetration going through, but we have a triple barrel compared to the Enchanted Crystal Era, and J-Team once again do not like their chances going up ramps. They're going to be backing out of here, though still holding on to Baron Vision control. As Hana wakes straight into the brush against Hanabi. He's just going to survive for now and does have the Zanya's. River goes for the backline. Can't find Lil V there. Hana will be left for dead as Rest is also taunted up. Dominus is popping here. Hanabi might be going a little bit too close and dies after the flash. Great find by J-Team. They will keep their pieces intact, but Unified is still untouched. This has been the common theme throughout all of these team fights. Aphelios is your main threat here, and he's not taking any damage as PSG once again go in. Everfrost does not land. Great power from Woody, and Lil V stays alive, but his support does go down. It will be a 1-for-1 trade. Can they get Lil V? Good body block by Rest, and Mission comes in to clean up the pieces, but once again, Unified stays alive. He has the red buff ticking, and he will take down the solo laners once again. Double kill for Unified. This man just cannot die.
Clement, I don't know what to say. It's just Unified putting on a show. There's really nothing to it. Hanabi says hello to Hana, and that's where the fight starts. But once again, River, he's able to split the fight just more effectively than anyone else on the side of J-Team. And this composition from J-Team is just running out of honest damage. They can't take these honest fights where they go front to back in front of each other, or at least in vision of each other. They need to take a lot more of these flank positions as we get to see them seeking down this tower here, but Lil V is a little bit too close to the sun. Instantly they jump onto him, and Unified, he's just too strong at this point, and even with both solo laners as strong as they are trying to barrel down onto him, it's not enough.
Yeah, he gets the full Conqueror stacks plus the Immortal Shield Bolt running, and he doesn't drop below half in that back end of that fight. Just Aphelios things, I guess. And right now it's a fed Aphelios as well against a double HP stack in Rest and Hana. Great itemization with the Lord Dominic's Regard there. So J-Team, they don't have the tankiness they used to have. They're going to have to rely on other tools to get back into this game. And I have a hard time figuring out what those tools actually are.
Yeah, it really just comes down to, it looks like we're going to see double GA. At that point, that's probably their best opportunity to close out the fight. Hopefully, they're able to obtain it before the Elder Dragon spawns, but unfortunately,
Rest coming into this one, but Baron is already taken away, and in goes River onto the backline. Hana and Rest are caught in no man's land. Finally, they find the stun onto Unified. Are they going to take him down? The exhaust is still ticking. He does go down by Rest. They might be able to turn this one around. Lil V still very healthy on the peripheries, just unloading damage again and again. We get a triple from Rest, and then Lil V closing out the team fight. A great situation after PSG took the Baron down. J-Team come up huge with the team fight.
And this time around, the side of PSG, they ignore their big carry. We're going to see the replay as, I mean, it's 9,000 HP, but this Baron disappears just so damn quickly because of how strong Unified is. Rest pops on in, says hello, and River once again gets into the back line, trying to buy time. However, look, they've exposed Unified this time around, and Lil V just finds the arrow. Perfect arrow lands, and immediately they're able to burst them down, and that's just the difference here. If Unified is able to stay alive and gets protection from his squad, they win these fights pretty darn easily. But now it's going to be Elder Dragon started out. I don't know if they'll be able to arrive in time.
Yeah, PSG are a little bit slow to the play, especially Unified, as he does come through the
3K,
ramp.
3K.
Let's see if J-Team can go. River is into the backline. Who's going to get this fight? It will be Hana with the Elder Soul right here. PSG could lose their flawless record. Rest is going into the backline. They trade down the jungle. Actually, Rest doesn't even die, and he's starting to emote. The BM King is back.
And now PSG, they're definitely on the back foot after that one. Is J-Team looking to draw blood onto PSG. They don't have the gold lead, but they're getting a lot of bonus stats coming in from both that Dragon Soul and also this Elder Dragon. However, they do need to capitalize on this opening given. They need to find and force a fight and just try and end the game right here, right now, because if they aren't able to end with Soul, that does mean PSG able to get one more item, and that becomes really scary with how strong Unified is, because he does now have the QSS.
PSG has so far this split won 19 straight games. The question here is, can they still make it to 20? They still have the gold lead, surprisingly enough, but in terms of raw combat stats, they don't stand a chance against J-Team right now. J-Team with the execute is going to barrel down. Let's see what PSG decide to do. They could choose to fight, as they do catch out Mission. Just out of nowhere, Mission even flashes and he just dies right in front of Maple. That is the Elder Soul. The Elder Dragon is gone.
That's Elder Dragon just wasted here. What? And it's Mission going aggressive when there's really, he has no business to do so.
Maple doesn't even have flash.
he wanted to go in for poke. He wanted to see if maybe he can get a pick with that Elder Dragon buff. But all he does is finds a taunt to his face, and I mean, Maple made fun of his team, and Mission couldn't take it, I guess.
You know, a lot of times it's really about balancing the risk to reward ratio. And for J-Team, that was like, oh, I found a penny on the ground. I'm going to throw away my life savings. Felt so bad, completely unnecessary. I feel like they should have been able to crack at least an inhibitor.
Yeah, I think the better wording on that one is, you found a penny on the highway, and I'm going to go pick it up.
You know, it's in the opposite lane. It's also a very busy intersection, but we'll take the chance. We'll take the chance. Maybe I get the penny.
Yeah, it was just like very, very unnecessary. And finally, Lil V is starting to get online as well. I'm gonna watch it again.
Oh,
I don't know if I really want to watch it again.
Replay. Even flashes at the end, which makes it harder to bear. Oh
dear.
Okay, let's hope that doesn't happen again for J-Team.
Yeah, and thankfully for J-Team, they do have their big item power spike at this point, which is the double GA here. It gives them a lot of lives to punch through.
We have the engage, Enchanted Crystal
Not
arrow.
ideal.
And PSG are actually opening up on
Split
the
fight.
left side of this fight. Unify chasing down Arrest.
Unify
Arrest is
does
not
fight.
surviving very well. Will have to go into the back line completely. Does have the GA pop. Exhaust going down onto Unify, but he is still 70% AP. He's chasing away all the pursuers at this point. Unified about to unleash the wrath of 200 years onto the faces of J-Team as they just get completely wiped. Unify with the triple, still full HP. Aphelios doing Aphelios things. Can Hana run away from it? He's scurrying into the jungle, and the TPs are down. PSG are about to make an example of JT.
PSG turning up the Jets. They're pissed after losing all those objectives. They lost 4 straight dragons, 5 including the Elder. They lost the Baron buff, but what do you know? You can give the other team literally everything, and PSG will still take your Nexus.
There's still 38 seconds on Hana to respawn onto this one.
What
And
do you
even with
spawn?
the full 5-member stack, they couldn't take down Unified. Can Lil V do it alone? He's getting him down to half HP. The Predator coming in. Walks out of it just fine, and that was a huge play by Lil V.
They have to back off.
Wow, that was absolutely amazing that Lil V was able to stand his ground, and with the help of Woody, they repel PSG.
Able to prolong this game, but look at the timers. Baron now live, and in 75 seconds we're gonna get that next Elder Dragon. It really just comes down to J-Team. Where do they want to flip? I have to say, you have to look for the Elder Dragon, not this one.
Arrow goes in, but it only lands onto Kairu. Can they take the support down? They do get the kill onto him, but River finds
can still
Lil V
fight
into
this,
the
though.
back line. Lil V has nowhere to go. Rest trying to go onto Unified,
But
but
you
he's
know, Unify's still
alone in
alive.
this business. He is going to go down at the very end. There's still 2 kills on the side of J-Team, so they have a chance to chase this one down. Woody going in, but doesn't
Woody?
find the knockup, and he's just going to get opened up here. Unified finds another kill. Hana going to get locked up. Hana trying to do his best against Unified, but he still has a
That's
GA.
GA.
You can't kill this man. There's too many shields. There's too much healing. Unified stays alive and stands his ground. As J-Team
But
still
now
trying to
the
chase
class,
though.
they're still trying to hunt for this, but now they will give up the chase, and because of the empowered Baron backs, they're going to be able to get out very, very quickly here, and things kind of reset. But because of yet another poor fight taken by the side of J-Team, they're just slowly losing more and more ground when it comes to the gold, and it pretty much... The difference in gold and the fact that they do have 4 dragons is nullified by the fact that there's just better scaling on the side of PSG at this point.
We do have Rest TPing in to join the Elder Dragons fight. It looks like Hana is going to be on a one-way mission to
Moonlight
try and
Vigil.
get the spike down. No, Felios still
Okay.
secures the objective, and down goes Hana. It was a valiant effort, as Mission still does pack a bit of a punch towards the backline. Unified going to heal that one up straight up. And PSG look like they might be going for the finishing blow here. 40 seconds on Hana. There is a super minion, plus Baron buff, plus Elder Dragon on the side of PSG. And yeah, Unified is healing 200 plus HP, an auto attack.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is it. This is it. They don't have a whole lot of engage coming in from the side of J-Team, and they're stuck in their base. You're not getting big flanks coming in from this LeBlanc.
This is going to be very hard to survive. Lil V already going down to half HP. He's going to have to come out of Woody at some point. Does so, gets back into the fountain, but at this point, the Nexus towers are already down. PSG, they're looking at the 20th straight victory this season, just holding their formation in front of the fountain. They want to send J-Team a message. You might have made us bleed, but at the end, we are still immortal as PSG keep their flawless aspirations alive.
PSG fans definitely sweating around that mid game here after they lose the Dragon Soul. Even though PSG win the fight afterwards, it was still a tricky situation. However, you get to see the replay of this really game-breaking fight. Lil V ults Maple 10 out of 10 times. That's not the target you want in this composition. We've seen PSG pull these comps off before where they are pretty much solely reliant on Unified to carry. We saw it on the Ziggs performance when I believe the Ziggs performance where he went to 49 minutes, I believe, against Boom. this is a squad that can play through multiple lanes, and when unified is probably the best AD carry in the league. PSG are more than willing to put the car keys in his hands.
I felt like this game was such a good illustration of how J-Team don't really understand how to play tempo very well. Like, when they had a lead early on, they didn't try to go all in with Enchanted Crystal Arrow. They actually just played 1-3-1 with PSG, and I'm like, guys, I'm not sure you know what the game plan is. Yeah, it was so weird to see. They had infinite chances to just go arrow, and they waited for 5 minutes for their flashes to come back up. It's like, no, this is a gentleman's agreement. No, you have to take the game slow. We're going to take 10 paces back and then turn around and shoot each other. And by the way, Mission is going to miss and shoot himself in the head instead. They had so many chances to win this game. I was getting so hyped. They had the first Elder. They had the first Dragon Soul. And PSG still won.
They 5-0'd in the Dragon department and still couldn't find a way to close. And I mean, testament to PSG's ability to grind out these longer games, but I think it also highlights J-Team's inability to execute around these less scaling compositions where all of a sudden they just ran out of damage, and you clearly saw Rest, while he had a good performance, fizzled out because this team just plays too honest. They stared at each other in these team fight setups and said, all right, I'm over here, you're over there. Wait 5 seconds, now we go. And it's just, you can't play flank compositions in a straight up front to back.
The weirdest thing to me is that even the front to back, they straight up would win. Like, we saw in the team fight, Lil V got 0 auto attacks off. 0! And they still won. That's how ridiculous the meta is for Renekton on Gore Drinker Power Spike. And they just didn't team them. They were just like, yeah, it's okay, we'll wait for Drakes. It's okay. And even with that strategy, they still nearly won, and then Mission just gets ran over. Like, the craziest thing to me is just like, Galio didn't even have Flash. He didn't even have Flash. Like, he was just straight up, okay, I'll just Justice Punch him. And Mission was like, oops. I was like, man, that was... Why? That should have been an open inhibitor. I'm so disappointed. I really am. I thought I could walk onto the J-Team hype train. I predicted PSG 3-0. I don't care. I want to see J-Team win. I want to see a competition between PSG and the rest of the league. I don't want to see them stop this. And still they can't pull it through. But congratulations to Unified. No surprises here. 14 kills and another well-deserved MVP.
This competition was just really all set up for Unified here, and what do you know, PSG, they're able to execute it. They give the car keys, hand it over to Unified, and he drives them straight to victory here. 14-3-9, pretty good kill pretty good kill score line for an AD carry, especially in this meta. But Aphelios does some filthy things.
Yeah, and the draft so far has just been PSG blindly locking in Aphelios. It's like, how do we secure this as a 3-0? We'll just pick Aphelios. Does it really matter? And J-Team's actually going to ban Viego for us. So, yeah. There isn't a power pick of the same weight coming in from the side of J-Team. So it's really difficult to see how they actually pull out of this series from this point onward. Hopefully they can make some new changes, but we're going to have to find out after these messages in Game 3 of J-Team versus PSG.